Hi everybody, this is Dan Stolbarger. Welcome to this week's KFIR Middle East Update. It's the week of June 12th. And we want to encourage you this week, if you have not joined our global community that we call KFIR, sign up right away. holygroundexplorations.com. It's free. Sign up your friends, your family, your church friends, small groups, etc. It's a crazy world in which we're living in, and we believe that a fellowship like this, that gives you, as you're watching, gives you a Middle East update through the lenses of Israel, a daily Bible reading schedule with different commentators, a 30-minute, we call it KFIR 30, a 30-minute Bible study on the Torah portion for the week. Join. What can I say? Twist your arm, sign up, holygroundexplorations.com. And again, to access the PDF that accompanies this PowerPoint or this YouTube, again, you can click the link on YouTube or holygroundexplorations.com. It's available there as well. And I think it's important because I have maps and different photos of each one of the slides or the articles or the things that we're covering this week. And you know what they say about a picture being worth 1,000 words and the maps, etc. So make sure you glean that, get that as well. So what's going on this week in Israel? In case you missed it, it was 53 years ago today, on this exact date, that the Six-Day War ended, and it ended after Israel came under attack from 5 Arab armies. No big surprise, Israel won. And even in the midst of a secular Israeli world these days, for the most part, all the credit for this war is not going just to the military supremacy or the mines. They realize God intervened. Norway has announced that it's going to withhold funding to the Palestinian Authority because of the hatred and the violence in school textbooks. Again, if we don't change young minds, things will never change. We'll talk more about annexation as we go through this week's materials. There was a discovery in the northern part of the Galilee sort of area, or I guess you'd say in the breadbasket, the plains of Jezreel, a biblical winery believed to belong to Naboth. The Jezreelite was uncovered by the University of Haifa. And you remember Naboth's vineyard kind of conjures up Jezebel and Ahab and etc. or whatever. So fascinating. The IDF thwarted another Iranian cyber attack, this time on military supply chains. And bottom line is that there will be a retaliation back. It's kind of gone back and forth these days. And again, cyber attacks are much more dangerous than we can even realize. But it's continuing on and will continue. Let's talk a little bit about the annexation updates. Benjamin Netanyahu intends to apply Israeli sovereignty to the three major settlement blocks of Gush Etzion, Ma'ale Adulam, and Ariel. He probably will hold off. I think that's going to be July 1st. He'll probably hold off with the Jordan Valley and sort of other settlement areas because of maybe not the full support that he believes he needs to have. But again, the world's crazy. There's a lot of friction from Jordan. So, but, you know, he made this statement, and, you know, I kind of believe it. He says that, you know, a year ago we dreamed about having sovereignty over these these three major settlements, and now it's right in front of us. He's sort of raising the victory flag in the midst of all of this, but I do think he's going to sort of pump the brakes a bit in regards to massive annexation. It is going to come, but I don't think it comes on July 1st. And then, of course, the response to that from Abbas is that he's threatening explosions and self-sacrifices if Israel annexes these cities or the Jordan Valley. But, no big surprise here, because that's all Abbas has ever done. He sends his people out to murder innocent Israeli children, men, women. He pays them for killing. He makes them shaheeds or martyrs. He's constantly inciting violence with his vicious words. So don't expect a peace partner with Abbas. And again, if we think Abbas is crazy, now we are going to hear from Hamas, and Hamas is basically saying, it's time to raise your guns. Ismail Haniyeh, the leader of Hamas, says it's been proven that all liberation movements around the world, no liberation can be achieved unless guns are raised. He's calling for suicide bombings, the third intifada, urging Palestinians to die for the Al-Aqsa, redeeming its soil with their blood. And he's, in a sense, patting Abbas on the back. But, these guys hate one another almost as much as they hate Israel. So it's sad to see what's transpiring, but I hate to say it, we're pretty used to it by now. I found this article interesting. It was a poll taken amongst Palestinians, and the quote is that it's 1,000,000 times better for Israel to be responsible for the entire territory. We're ready to live, even if it's under Israel's military boots. We'd rather have that than under the head of Abu Mazen, that's his other name. We know him as Mahmoud Abbas. He says, what has the Palestinian Authority ever done for us? I don't want a state. I want to be able to provide for my family. I want to make money. Money is preferable to a state. The entire Palestinian people, this is what we want. We want a better economy. The Palestinian Authority have robbed us. They've destroyed us. In Israel, there's law and order. Life is good. And then a Palestinian policeman adds that all the PA has done, all the money that's been given, billions of dollars, just goes into the coffers of Abu Mazen and the other Palestinian leaders. His final comment, I prefer Israeli sovereignty 100%. So again, we'll have to wait and see what transpires. Now, we reported a couple weeks ago, maybe it's over a month now, of the soldier that was killed outside of Jenin, a cinder block thrown from a roof that killed him. And of course, he had not been caught until now. And so they've caught him. It's been 30 days that the dad, you'll see the photos of the dad and the son. He says, I've been waiting for that phone call of redemption. He goes to the grave site and he says, Amit, they've caught him. Netanyahu's praised the IDF and security forces for apprehending this murderer of the late Amid ben Yagal. And Netanyahu makes a statement that has come to be very true. He says, whoever attacks us, we will find him sooner or later. And in recent years, you've noticed that it's sooner. And third safest in a recent published 250-page report, The Hong Kong-based Deep Knowledge Group ranks Israel third in the world in its list of the safest countries during the coronavirus crisis. Number 1, Switzerland. Number 2, Germany. And number 3, Israel. And so our friends in Israel are saying they're reopening slower than they would like, but it's consistent. We have a couple tours to Israel this fall. We're getting a thumbs up for that. So you can see on the PowerPoint, we have tours late fall, early spring. Check them out. We'd love to have you visit Israel with us. Oh, back in the news, guess who's making a political comeback? Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. He's planning a political comeback. We'll have to wait and see, but this is Iran, and nothing surprises me in Iran. And so once again, we have the hatred, the virtual hatred of Israel from Ahmadinejad, and we'll have to wait and see what transpires there. Running out of time, there's an article here on Turkey. It's frightening to see what's taking place in Turkey these days. Christians being martyred and killed. And the only reason I bring this up is because most people fail to realize that the 7 churches that Jesus speaks to in the book of Revelation, they're all in Turkey. And so, what's transpiring there is frightening, and we need to open up our eyes, and we need to be praying for the Christians that are in Turkey. So that's it for this week. Again, as I mentioned on the last slide, here is the dates of our fall and spring tours. Check them out and come with us to Israel soon. God bless you and shalom.